from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to party politics in Nigeria generally, looking at why there is so much instability in the opposition parties, and of course matters arising from the resignation of the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, of course all the other political issues. Of course we saw yesterday the PDP's NEC meeting and all that happened there, which I discussed in my first conversation with Honorable Johnson Yeriri. I have joining me now the national chairman of the Zenith Labour Party, Chief Nwanyanwu. Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me again.
All right. You saw what happened yesterday at the National Executive Council meeting of the PDP at the National Secretariat, Wadata Plaza. And right from security operatives, the sealing of the PDP national headquarters in the morning, to all of the events that culminated in the announcement that Nwanyanwu is back as national, or is the national secretary of the party. Now, it raises question about the conduct of meetings, political party meetings, and of course internal party cohesion and democracy. What are your thoughts concerning that?
Well, first of all, what happened yesterday at Wadata House by the invasion of the police.
Oh, you call it invasion?
Of course it's invasion. It's condemnable. You have infringed on the rights of people to freely meet, which is guaranteed under our constitution. I'm not sure they were invited to come by the leadership of the party. And you have also given the wrong impression that somebody had directed you to go and disturb the peace in the PDP, the peace or whatever in the PDP. I want to make it clear. Every political party has the right to conduct its own affairs and hold meetings as it fell due in accordance with their constitution. And in so doing, it's like INEC, no INEC. This matter came up because of the problem in the party. Political parties hold their NEC meetings without noise. But the Act has provided that when you are holding a meeting that has to do with removing somebody from office or electing somebody into office or congresses or conventions, INEC must be notified and be invited. On the other hand, if you are discussing other party matters, you don't need to invite INEC. You don't need to call INEC. But INEC has the right to enter any meeting as the registrar and regulator of political parties.
Okay.
Now, that is one point. Let us not go with the impression that for every NEC meeting you invite INEC. It is not the rule, and it is not in INEC guidelines. What is in the guidelines, which flew from the provision of the Electoral Act into INEC guidelines, is when you are doing aforementioned, removing somebody from office, bringing somebody in, INEC would like to see it, so that it will be in a position to say these are the authentic people and leaders of the party. Well, if they had insisted to stay at Wadata House, when I had it, I saw it on TV, I said, well, they can move to any governor's lodge and hold the meeting. Will you go there and stop them? The answer would be no. But I think it was good that they have finally agreed. It is not right to say that Senator Nwanyanwu has been readmitted or has been reconfirmed or is back.
Yeah, that's why I corrected myself.
Yeah, no, that's what is out there. He didn't go anywhere. Senator Nwanyanwu didn't go anywhere. I've been issued. He has been the national secretary of the party, and that was why his name is still in INEC portal. And that's why when they go to INEC to ask INEC who is our national secretary, it was only somebody like Professor Mahmoud that will be so benevolent, so magnanimous to, sit down. It's laughable. A political party has gone to INEC, who is our national secretary? It's like my normal proverb, when you know how a bird feeds, you are asking, how does a bird feed? Every political party must adhere to its constitution. You are talking about crisis in political parties. This constitution is the ground norm in a political party, and it is an agreement amongst members. And that was why you put it as a rule in your party. In the aforementioned party, the PDP, it is clear that if you are going to run for an election, you may resign. On the other hand, you may not resign. Sam Daddy went for an election. It wasn't favorable. He returned. The problem started. There shouldn't have been problem. I know many lawyers in the PDP leadership, and they have a legal advisor. Did it get to this point you could no longer decipher or know the difference between shall and may? So everybody's interest. I'm going to come to other reasons why you have these problems. And the young man kept quiet. Those why he didn't go anywhere. Your act was wrong. Your action was ultra virus the constitution of your party. And that was what INEC told them. Which, of course, they didn't know. INEC Professor Mahmood respectfully and nicely told them that they didn't know what they were doing. One time it was Senator Nwanyanwu, one time it was Doge, one time it was this, the other time. In fact, the latest is you don't have a secretary.
He said you are confusing us.
They are confusing them, yes. So if something happens now, and I told somebody after that meeting that if these people fail to retrace their steps, they may not be available for the next election. Because Professor Mahmood has given you what you should know. If a situation is provided for in your constitution, it is with the total exclusion of any other meaning or any other thing, particularly when you can read ordinary meanings into it. That is the canons of interpretation of rules.
Is that the same problem in the other political parties? For instance, the Labour Party?
No. You see, Labour Party only is a different chapter. But I'm not here to discuss political parties. But I'm talking generally.
We're just looking generally at...
And why I'm giving an example, because this is the one that is on ground. Because I've spoken to some of them who are my friends. And I told them when the problem started, there is no way Senator Samanya will not finish his tenure. All they are saying, this is wicked. If he's a friend to wicked, does that mean he doesn't know? This is somebody that has been local government chairman, state assembly member, senator. Now, he says somebody is delegating him. It is yourself saying that is being delegated. The man knows his right.
Does friendship with Nyesom Wike deny Nwanyanwu the right to be national secretary, or does he not even have the right to be friends with anyone he chooses?
Not at all. You see, this friendship in politics, and that is why I don't care about people when they say certain things. You may be an enemy to this person, but I'm very close to him, and they are my friend. In politics, they'll start suspecting me. Why is he friend to? No, I'm what? I have no enemy. I have friends in the APC, I have friends everywhere. And we talk, we meet. But when we meet, we don't talk politics. But if there's an issue that we must discuss, we discuss it based on our views. But in politics, it doesn't work. That's why you see enmity in politics is deeper than you can imagine. So, your friend must not be my friend. My enemy shouldn't be your enemy.
Yeah, but the regular thing, the popular parlance is that the enemy of my enemy should be my friend. The enemy of my friend should be my enemy.
Well, it's a saying, but it doesn't follow. You may judge me wrongly. You may anticipate me wrongly by being friend to somebody that's your enemy, and you are my friend. It has nothing to do with our relationship. So, Senator Nwanyanwu fought and defended his right. He didn't go anywhere. It was wrong to say we have readmitted it. Even the first day they say, the chairman said, no. The thing was badly managed.
So in the eyes of the law, he has always been the national secretary.
In the eyes of the law, Senator Sam Nwanyanwu has ever remained the national secretary of the party since he was elected in the convention. You have the right to remove him. Go back to the convention. But insofar as you have not done so, It's like the water you are pouring on watermelon. The water will just fall off. It will not work. Political parties must learn to obey their rules. And you know why it is so? Why they are doing all this? It's because there's no party supremacy. I have cited example in this station and many places. I was a young banker who had political interests because I loved how Azikiwe, how they are. At times they'll fix a meeting in Ibadan. I'll drive from Lagos to go and listen. I wasn't a member. But I remember one meeting that was held in Ibadan. There were only 2 seats on the high table of MPL. Augustus Meredith Adisa Akinloye and Solomon Takoma. Just 2 seats. Shagari,
the national chairman.
National chairman.
And the national secretary.
Shagari, Ekweme, Dr. Wise, they were all facing them. I recall at the time, President Shagari wanted to speak. Adisa said, no, Mr. President, not you yet. You. I told my God, look, he has refused the president to speak. I didn't know the meaning then. That was party supremacy. The party is supreme. The leader of the party then was Adisa Akinloye.
The chairman of the
party. The chairman of the party.
So
mutandis in the states.
How did we get to this point where the governors and the president now are the leaders of their respective
Yeah, it's because
parties?
of the system we are practicing. When somebody gets in there, he's not looking at how to perform. Let his performance take him in. He will start plotting how to be perpetual in office. This party must be supreme because they put you there. They gave you the envelope. They gave you the ticket to become who you are. So you can now come back and lure yourself over the party. That is where you're having these problems. In the states, governors are party leaders. Unlike in our constitution, the leader of the ZAP is the national chairman. Mutatis mutandis in the states. The party chairman is the leader. Produce governor tomorrow is the leader, unless the constitution is amended. So that everybody, when Mimiko was governor on that Labour Party, I was the national chairman. Mimiko never, ever interfered in the running of the party. And I never, ever interfered in the running of his government. In fact, I never gave him a name to be appointed as commissioner, this and that. No. My interest was, this is a Labour Party. Like during the minimum wage. I said, Governor, when are you paying this minimum wage that has been signed? He said, we are thinking about maybe next week. He paid. He was the first to pay. He paid more. We go to the university where I was pro-chancellor. He paid and started paying the arrears on the 2019 agreement. That is your duty as a party, to make sure that those who wrote on your platform are keeping to the mission, vision, and programs of the party. Not for you to be giving them contract. I never asked for contracts. I was not giving. It didn't bother me. Because that was not my job. I was working to have more people, more governors, more senators, more House of Rep members. The party must be supreme at all times. If you want to stop all this, look at now the resignation of Ganduche.
Yes, I was actually going to take you there.
Yeah. The party chairman, I think is the issue of lack of party supremacy. The way Aldo also resigned. The president got to his house, called that he was coming. They should prepare pounded yam, egusi soup with bushmeat. President Obasanjo went there, ate and finished, and put hand in his pocket and brought the letter for him to sign. So party supremacy is not there. When they are tired of you, they do away with you. The parties will continue to be weak. Members will not have the freedom to exercise their franchise of talking. And that is why you have all these problems coming up. Apart from external influences and other things, but when the party is supreme, you look up to the party. You look up to the party. If you don't want a particular thing to happen in your party, put it in your constitution. Like in the Labour Party constitution, as I was talking about some Nwanyanwu. You have the right to go for an election. You may be appointed into office. Once it is an office of a permanent nature that you earn salaries, or you have succeeded in winning that election, you cease to be whoever you are. I ran for the presidential election in 20 in 2023. I didn't resign. And in fact, the day I came back in the next NEC, I received a clap, a standing ovation. Welcome back. Because it is in our constitution. It will create problems that I can only leave if I have succeeded to be elected president after saying, so help me God, my position will cease. So they should stop introducing things that are not in their constitution. Obey your rules. And that's what INEC has been shouting. Obey your rules. Where you have many lawyers, where you have legal advisor, deputy legal advisor, nobody could see it. And you have wasted a whole of 9 months or 1 year fighting over nothing. And you have come back to that position. And you'll be calling Wike. No,
let's talk about the Ganduje resignation that you raised earlier.
It's also the same system of getting party leaders to leave. I don't have the details. I just read it. I say, Ganduje, this guy has done well. This guy is a president's man and all that. But you know, stories started flying. Some people met him. Some functionaries of government, blah blah. I can't confirm that. But he's gone. He's gone. And they have fixed neck to replace him. So it's a question of when you are having permutations as per 2027, you have to look at who will give you more advantage. Okay, let us look at the zone of Ganduje and also juxtapose it with what you are picking in the air. Some people that are talking to APC leadership, they want to join APC and all. You may sacrifice somebody to get more on the other side.
Yeah, but there's also another group on the other side saying that, look, now that Ganduje has left, it's the North Central that should actually produce the national chairman.
Actually, it should have been the North Central. And these are the contradictions that the party has to resolve in their next NEC. You may be trying to get more here, but you lose a chunk. The chairman ought to have come from North Central. Maybe Nasarawa, they're talking about Mukara, what's his name, former governor and all that. So it's the party. But you know, in party administration, you have caucuses, you have the leadership. When I'm talking about party supremacy, it's not that every member of the party will be there to make the party supreme. There are still persons that will sit and project the vision and mission of the party and do the calculation of how the party will succeed. Once there is a consensus added them, they will put it to the people. And that becomes the party position. So it is left for the party leadership. I'm sure the president is, you know him, he knows what he's doing when it comes to political calculations. So I'm sure his hand is there. He's looking at how will this party continue to move beyond 2027. So he has to do all the calculations. And it is normal.
But Chief Nwanyanwu, that brings you right back to the issue of party supremacy.
Yeah.
The former Director General of the Voice of Nigeria, Osito Okechukwu, was here yesterday.
Yes.
And what he basically did was to appeal to the president as the leader of the party to consider what his own group, the CPC group in the APC wants, which is that someone from the North Central zone should be the chairman of the party. So everything takes you right back to that issue of party supremacy.
Yeah, Osito Okechukwu has been a very loyal, hardworking member of the APC from the onset. Before the APC, before the CPC, APC, ACF, Osito Okechukwu, myself, Senator Musa Fasali, who is now in the Senate, Buba Galadima, and Suleiman. We were the 5 people that will always guide Buhari when he came to Abuja.
In the NPP then?
He was in the NPP then. In fact, at the time, I've said this before, I wanted Buhari to come and run under the Labour Party. We visited him in Kaduna. I visited Buhari many times in Kaduna. We had useful discussions. And that was why I was disappointed. When after all I talked with him in Kaduna, as per his ideas, I was carried away. If I had the right, I would have said, take presidency of Nigeria. But he came here and started doing 360 degrees. And I said it publicly. So Osito Okechukwu, he was not properly even compensated in APC. If you go by benefiting from your hard work. He was frustrated when he wanted to run for governor in Enugu. They did all sorts of things. In fact, they remembered him when I consistently was talking about him and all of us. I left them along the way and walked away. So it's a question of Osita expressing his views. That was the proper thing to do. But the president, who is the leader of the party, has the final say. He may not be looking that way. He may be looking that way. It is based on his calculations as to how my decision will further the interest of the party.